Okay, I'm on record, yeah.
Hugh, first question, what's your name?
Hugh Townsend.
And what's your job title, I guess?
So I'm the founder of Townsend Chartered Surveyors, who are land agents and chartered surveyors.
And what's your involvement then with this new government policy?
Well, we've been trading intangible assets off farm for 38 years, and this is the latest thing that's come from the government. And we create environmental credits and then sell them. We're brokers.
Okay.
We're the biggest brokerage house in the UK for intangible assets.
Okay. So, Hugh, perhaps you're in a good position then to explain how biodiversity net gain. What does that mean to someone who doesn't have any, clue about farming? What does this policy mean?
So biodiversity, the way the government has set it up, is about measuring the diversity of plant species, as it were, in a quadrant on the ground. And those habitats and plants attract the wildlife that is so important and is what their aim is. So since the 12th of February, there is a new planning condition for any development in England. And this basically requires that any lost diversity, plant diversity, has to be replaced after a development, plus an extra 10%. So the developer can try and do this on the site he's developing, which can be difficult sometimes, or they have the alternative of offsetting it on other land. And this is where farmers come in, and this is where I come in. We create biodiversity on farms and then sell it.
Okay. In your opinion then, looking at this as a big picture, as a big change, is this a good thing for the countryside?
Well, it's certainly a good thing for the country. We've got climate change, and we know from the UN that the best defence we have, natural defence, is biodiversity against climate change. 50% of greenhouse gases are absorbed, the ones we produce, are absorbed by land and sea. So there's a great climate change benefit, and also the biodiversity is encouraging and improving soils, water, air, our health, our own health in the process. So it is, as an ecosystem, very important to maintain for the future of all of us.
Yeah, there has been the criticism levelled by some that this could threaten land which is good for food production and turn it into biodiverse habitats, but that would take land away from what it's been done for hundreds of years from families who've been farming that land. What would you say to that?
So in fact it's almost a reverse of how farming was pre-inorganic fertilizers coming along 1900s. So yes, there is intensive farming of farmland now, but really BNG is not so well suited to that from an economic point of view for a farmer or a farm holding. It is the worst land, the wet land, the steep land with bad soils that one would be using. Most importantly, the money you can make from that, from the sales of these BNG units, can fund the farming business. And actually, I believe in the long run, we could see there is more food production as a result, because what we need is efficient farming businesses making the most of the productive land they have.
Does this have the potential then to quite drastically change the way the countryside looks, the way it feels?
It's not a solar park. It is not set aside. It is still going to be farmed, less intensively. You could say it will be more bucolic and a reversion to what the land looked like in the early 1900s, but only parts of it. There will still be the intensive farming.
Yeah. You've answered that and explained that really well, Hugh. I just want to ask, I suppose, on the other side of this, farmers are and do struggle at the moment with the nature of the markets. We're hearing from Ash about how dairy farmers have kind of gone away or are still struggling. I suppose the other kind of criticism around this is how perhaps farmers should be the ones getting the money from these schemes, but there are other, I suppose, private investors capitalising on this as well. Is that a delicate balance to be had there?
So I've been involved in 8 emerging markets in my career. And yes, there is a gold rush mentality at the moment, and it's like the wild west frontier. That will settle down, because those BNG operators who are taking advantage of the ignorance of the farming community, education will improve. And as we are marketing, we held the first national sale of BNG units on the 2nd of February and do it every 6 weeks. As that progresses, it will become a more transparent and efficient market, and those issues will be resolved where the money goes where it should do, which is in the farmer's pocket 100%.
That was great, wasn't it? That was a very good answer. You saw this tree sort of coming down to
Greenwash,
greet you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Greenwash,
That was
yeah.
perfect
That's
timing. Yeah.
Do you want to?
That was great. I think we've just
No, you
about
need
gone
the
off that
tree.
question.
You need
Yeah,
the tree.
okay. Fine.
Yeah, before the tree came down.
I mean, also you've
I
got
could do a reverse.
it's the audio, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can, we
Yeah.
can do
I've just got one more question. If the tree is now back
tree
up to where it
behave.
was.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
And just on that same line, Hugh, and you know, I don't know how much you can say this, but there has been foreign interest in this as well, haven't there? You know, in terms of foreign money, foreign investors looking to capitalise.
There's a lot of money coming into the city, and has been for a while, that is coming from abroad, etc., and is investing. Now, there's nothing wrong in investing in any commerce, but the important thing is that it's done in a transparent way, and that at the moment, you know, the difficulty is you don't know who you're dealing with. So there are different people you're facing, like ecologists, brokers, people coming up with very environmentally friendly schemes, but what's their backing and what is their intent. And it's only until you look at the detail that you actually find out. In some cases, these operators have been taking up to 95% of the sale proceeds, whilst being very friendly and offering to help out the farmer. So care is needed and good advice is needed.